Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars. From the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. Welcome to week number 3 of the 2025 Coast to Coast Racing League winter season. It's another edition of Monday Night Madness. From a pretty long and a pretty fast track, we got open 358s and 2 divisions of 360 sprint cars coming at you. We're so glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you. It's either good view from over top Marion County and Knoxville Raceway. Well, last week we had some fun racing. That was for sure at in round number 2 of the 2024 season. In case you missed this again, had some great racing. Saw a good race to the end, and the checkered flag was taken by Patrick Spangler in a close finish at I-55 Speedway. That was where round 2 was. Some exciting racing as a whole with open 358s as well as both sprint car divisions. Hopefully we see it here tonight. As we get into the season now, we're in week number 3. And this is where you got to keep in mind as well when we go to Renegades later tonight, top 5 in Rebels as long as the IL. And in fact, that's when you can transfer up into Renegades. And then finally as well, with it being week number 3, this is where we kind of started getting a tally of points because everything pretty much is set to 0. Drivers meeting underway right now. Here's a look at the time. Scott Rayome currently the quickest in 18:3:49. Rayome picked up his first open 358 win in a broadcast in such a long time. A great win for him. Clay Christopherson currently second, Anthony Morano third, so FTM holding down the top 3 spots. Fourth right now is Kelly Wheeler, and Glenn Sharp rounds out the top 5. We have, oh my goodness, 33 drivers with us tonight. Well, you know, when it's Knoxville, you want to put on a pretty dang good show, so everyone shows up to that. That's number 1. But number 2, I got a good feeling, you know, Dean Reynolds made a post on the Coast to Coast Racing League Lounge, wondering how everybody has been lately that hasn't raced with us in a while. I'm seeing some returning names we haven't seen in forever. We'll get to all of them later on here in the broadcast. But 33 cars, that is an awesome count here for tonight. And so qualifying underway. The sun is set. 2 minutes to put up 2 laps. We'll get the first driver out onto the racetrack. And that, of course, is Slide Job Scott Rayome. Some drivers will play it nice and safe in turn 1 and 2. Others, they want to get on the throttle. Again, if you're new to a coast-to-coast racing league event, 2 minutes of qualifying. We then invert the top 4 in heat races prior to the green flag waving. Top 4 of the 8-lap heats will transfer to our 30-lap feature. Those that don't make it race in a 10-lap B main, where we'll put up the rest of the field here. We should have probably, if I were to guess, 4 heats, maybe even 5 with the car count we've got here this evening. We'll just have to see here as bar is set by Scott Rayome at the start-finish line. Randall Dixon puts up the first time, 1970, but Rayome at a 1950. Dan McLaren second at a 1956. Dean Reynolds goes quick time. 1947 for the driver of the number 79. Mike Weeda now to the top of the charts at the 1946. And Anthony Morano says, I'll one-up you back as well. But Brian Dickens one-ups him in a 1945. We got a lot of purple coming in right now, folks. Dickens working on lap number 2. Here they come to the start-finish line. Jeff Barker, no. He was in the purple in Sector 1, but then got 12th in the 1958. Dickens stays quickest, 1952 on lap number 2. Here's Sam Bachman, 9th quickest in the 007. Isaac Salas, purple in Sector 1, 1956. He's 12th quickest. So let's keep an eye on this second lap. If he is in the green, if not the purple, likely a quick time. We'll have to see off of turn number 4. And he's in the orange. I don't think that'll do the damage there, 1960. Qualifying is done, and Brian Dickens in the Hammer Down Racing 122, the quickest by 0.02 of a second. But look at that top 4, how spread out they are. It is going to be a lot of fun watching the Open 358s go around the sprint car capital of the world this evening. Ready to go for heat race number 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, a proud team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. The return of Glenn Sharp of the 99. Glad to see him with us. He's on the pole position. Next to him, it's the 88 of Dan McLaren. Row number 2, you've got Slide Job Scott Rayome in the number 4, and Brian Dickens, the 122. Row 3, Randy Shreves of the 56, and Michael Vecchio in the 247. Final car on the grid this evening, Logan Wentz. He is in the 118. We're all glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat this evening. Of course, Knoxville normally brings out a good crowd. Just one pace lap. Winner starts on pole position. So I believe we've got 5 heats here this evening at Knoxville. Let's confirm all of that. Yes, we do. Top 4 transfer to the feature. Everyone else down to a B main. I don't know if we have a C main in stock. The car count could be likely. But we are green for the first heat race of the evening. Good jump from Glenn Sharp. Immediately has Dan McLaren cleared. Brian Dickens took a peek underneath that second spot, but the 88 car wants the race lead. A slide job early on Glenn Sharp. 99 counters it back underneath. as McLaren tries to run the small cushion. Lap number 1 led by the 99. Brian Dickens downstairs may go 2 for 1. We're 3 wide for the lead off of turn 2. Sharp gets a little bit sideways. Vecchio in the final transfer spot in the 4th position. Tries to rip the lip in turn number 3. We'll see if it pays off well for that 247. And even in the open setups, everyone's still in this tight pack. Dickens up to P2, 3 wide for 4th, and through goes Logan Wentz. High, wide, and hands up to the top shelf. The place to be early here at Knoxville Raceway. We'll see how this track changes throughout the night. May go down to the bottom later on. Oh, contact between the leaders. Hang on, Dan McLaren. What a save he made. And Brian Dickens pays the worst price. Goes from 2nd down to 5th. And now Rayom and Vecchio get together. The 247 slaps the wall there down the back chute. He falls to last. So Dickens with a final transfer spot in for right now. We're halfway through in Heat 1. 4 up and 4 down. Wentz 2nd, Rayom 3rd, Dickens in 4th. Has opened up some leeway on Glenn Sharp and Randy Shreves, the first 2 out. As they go at it for the 5th spot. Your top 4 drivers, though, all nose to tail, halfway home, and Sharp has crashed in turn 4. Around went the 99. 4 cars all under a blanket for the race lead, but they all know that they're in the show for right now. But right now, 1 position gain is pretty much 4 spots towards the feature, if not 5. Here goes Wentz for the race lead. Remember, he started last in this heat race, and it's looking to go from worst to first. McLaren with a great counter back at the number 88. Fantastic racing. Contact between Rayom and Dickens, and the 122 is in the wall. Randy Shreves trying to find some life in that 56. Final lap underway here in Heat 1. Who's going to start on pole? Logan Wentz with a slide job. Gets up into the chocolate chips. McLaren the 2 touch for just a moment. Into turn number 3. It's a McLaren or Wentz. McLaren gets on the berm. Contact for the race. Went in the pole position. Rayom up in the wall. They all go crazy. Dan McLaren takes Heat 1. Wentz 2nd. Rayom 3rd. Dickens 4th. Oh my goodness. Shreves, Vecchio, and Sharp down to the beam, and I think that was a little bit of a love tap there, possibly. As we move down to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Here's how the starting lineup looks. All Venom front row, Butters on the pole. Jason Butterfield in the 93. Next to him, Isaac Salas, slide job with the number 5. Row number 2, it's Mason Hine in car number 89. And the Magic Ant-Man, coast-to-coast 200 champion, Anthony Morano in the 32. Row 3, Pat Boyce in the 41. And Craig Bristow, baby, in the number 30. Final car in the grid this evening, Devo Donovan Ross in the 5. Anthony Morano on December 31st won the first ever 200-lap big block modified feature in coast-to-coast history. Got that done at Oswego Speedway. Started on the pole, led early, then got involved in the second caution of the race, fell to the back, made his way back up somewhere to take the lead just before lap 90, and did not look back. So the Oswego being a little bit of a longer track than Knoxville could have possibly helped him out. We'll have to see. Top 4 transfer winner starts the outside of the front row. Jason Butterfield, Isaac Salas set to bring us to the green flag. Here we go. Good start for Butters on that number 93. Isaac Salas following him in the 5. Side by side for the top spot. Salas up on the preferred groove. Butterfield lets him have it. Look at that. Salas trying to dust that top off at the same time. Lap number 1 up on the boards, led by Isaac Salas. Anthony Morano in a battle for the 3rd position. Now looks underneath on the 93 after getting past Mason Hine. They still remain side by side. Pat Boyce up on the wall, currently 5th, about 3/10 behind on the 89 of Hine. We watch the battle for P2 on board the Magic Ant-Man. Morano still trying to chase down Jason Butterfield in that number 93. Slide job by the 32. Butterfield trying to counter it back as we're halfway home. The 93's got it. They touch. Morano up on the wall. Keeps her going. Back on board with the 32. Another slider for the Magic Ant-Man. Slide job city. This place is well known for being, especially in a sprint car. Go low contact between Bristol and Boyce for fifth. Hang on, Donovan Ross. Bang! Into the wall both go. And Bristol's on its noggin. Meanwhile, 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag. Next time by for Salas. And 1 lap to go here. Remember, top 4 transfer. High with some good breathing room on Boyce. Just about 0.8 of a second the gap. Boyce just to put down his best lap last time by to 1972. But likely not going to be enough. Here comes Isaac Salas through 3 and 4. The Venom Racing at number 5 takes the win in heat race number 2. Morano second, Butterfield third, Hine fourth, Boyce fifth, Ross in sixth, Bristol seventh. So it's an all Venom front row for our 30-lap feature later this evening. And in the words of Butch Baker, Venom came to play tonight, just like Butchie's Detroit Lions that took the top seed in the NFC last night. I hope Dino did not hear that. Hey, look, I know you can roast the Bills all you want for losing to the New England Patriots, but the thing is it actually worked for them because it didn't work well for the Patriots because they lost the number 1 draft pick because of their win. So, just saying. So we move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management, proud partner of the Retreads. And the starting lineup looks like this as B-Temp is on the pole. Brandon Templeton in the 31. Next to him, Clay Christopherson in the 51. Row 2, 100 grand. Joseph Grandy in the 518. And Mike Guida in the 81. Row number 3, Greg Parmalee in the 4. And Bob DeGood in the 7. Final car on the grid. Welcome back to this man. It has been a while since we've last seen him. Keith Jackson in the number 113. Welcome back, Keith. We all know how good he was in a sprint car. See if he has it in him at Knoxville this evening. Winner starts the inside of row number 2. Can guarantee you this, that it will not be a Venom 1, 2, 3. So who will it be is the question. Christopherson, the outside of Brandon Templeton.
Green flag, green flag.
Underway for heat 3. Templeton checks out of the hotel instantly. Christopherson clear to hang on to second. Parmalee wants that transfer spot, but again, Keith Jackson says, hey boys, remember me? Well, he just says that to Greg Parmalee. I don't think he's ever raced against Mike Guida in coast-to-coast action in the past. Lap number 1 led by Brandon Templeton. Here comes Putt-Putt. Downstairs in Mama's basement, able to clear for the race lead. Templeton with a little bumper, tried to throw the chrome horn into turn 3. Grandy riding comfortable in third. Parmalee hanging on for that final transfer spot in fourth. Jackson in the 5th position. You're on board with him, looking middle. Decides not to send it deep, wants to see how the low line is. Top right now, we're the place you want to be in the entry, but remember, Putt-Putt got the bottom to work in 1 and 2. Slide job by Jax to try and hang on to 5th. Mike Guida counters it back. If Guida could beat Keith Jackson, that'd be a significant accomplishment there. Guida probably just doesn't know it. They still remain door-to-door for 5th. Jackson started 7th in this heat race. laps to go. Both lines working pretty well, a little bit like Oswego. When you can go side by side for many laps, Dylan Kinsey, Justin Hazlitt showed us you could do that. We could possibly see it here tonight in a 3:58. 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, for Putt-Putt, Clay Christopherson finished third in the Coast to Coast 200 last Tuesday with a great car in the final laps of things. Well, this ain't 200 laps tonight, baby. This is 30. Just like a normal race. 2 laps to go in Heat 3. Best battle on track is for second. Brandon Templeton and Joseph Grandy now on the final lap. Greg Parmalee with the final spot in. Got about a half-second buffer zone between him and Jackson. Through turns number 3 and 4, here comes Putt-Putt Clay Christopherson to take the checkered flag, wins by 1.3 seconds. Templeton second, Grandy third, Parmalee fourth, Weeda fifth, Jackson sixth, Andy Good in seventh. Now move on to heat race number 4. 2 more heats left to go. And on the pole, Gavin Chatham with the 99. Next to him, the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 2, the Jokester, Michael Vitale in the 213. And Dean Reynolds in the 79. Final row this evening, Gary Offutt in the number 94. Normally doesn't race the 358s, or normally a sprint car guy. So good to see Gary running in the open 358 division. Rounding out the field, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. New paint scheme for Chatham with the number 99. Go 1 extra lap here before we take the green flag, just so we can get things into place. I think the drivers I'm watching out for closely, obviously Gavin Chatham, but also Dean Reynolds in that 79. Was 4th quickest in qualifying, so see if he can make his way up to the front. It seems like you want to be in the front row for a good starting spot. Winner starts 4th. If you finish 2nd, you start 9th this evening. That means we were only taking 4 drivers out of the B main. Green flag set to wave here for heat race number 4. Winner starts outside row 2. Here we go. Chatham immediately clears on Jeff Barker. Dino looks a little bit stalled out for P2. Could help out Vitale grab the 3rd position, but Reynolds has an opening up on the top shelf. Can he grab P2 off the corner? Not yet. But obviously he's got a lot of time. Very good in the center of the corners here in Knoxville. But Barker with a small diamond may help him out on corner exit. That it does. As they stay wheel to wheel in turn 3. Brandon Dittmer trying to help out his fellow booth boy. On board the 83 of BD. So Reynolds up to P2. See if Dittmer can grab 3rd from the Bird to Beast. Michael Vitale trying to follow suit. Right now he's out of a transfer spot, and he could grab it from Jeff Barker right here, right now, and that he does. Dean Reynolds, quickest driver on the track last time by. 1963 was a 10th better than Gavin Chatham. It looks like the 99 may have opened up some ground. We'll have to see. Different lines by both of them. Oh, Dino's right there. How much did he close in that time? Gap was a little bit the same as we go to P3. Dittmer versus Vitale. On board the 213. A little bit patient with the throttle. Oh, they come to blows at the line. Vitale with the slide job. 3rd is his for now. Dittmer read it pretty well. So with the crisscross off of turn number 2, See if he can throw it in. Not really. Vitali preferred line off the corner. And the Jokesters got third spot. Reynolds all over the bumper of Gavin Chatham for the race lead, and they're FTM teammates. Chatham newer to this team. Obviously, Reynolds the veteran of this squad. Next time by, white flag. Actually, this time by, 1 lap to go. Brandon Dittmer, final car in by 0.4 of a second on Jeff Barker. Chatham, the quickest of all drivers, with a 19:56 that last time through. Here comes that 99 through turns number 3 and 4. The scientist will be impressed as Gavin Chatham takes the win in Heat 4. Reynolds second, Vitali third, Dittmer fourth, Barker fifth, and Offord sixth. One more heat race left to go. It's Heat 5. Here's the starting lineup as Randall Dixon, the Bandit, on the pole position. Next to him, it's Harold Klump in car number 2. Row number 2, Sam Bachman in the 007, and Callie Wheeler in the 110. Final row this evening, Bud Molyneux in the 883. Next to the General, Andy Patton in the 87. Love the way those eyes reflect off the side of that Venom 883. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We'll give you a shout out live and on the air. Glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Winner starts inside of row 3 this evening.
Green, green, green.
So we're underway for the 5th and final heat. Tough start there from Randall Dixon. Sam Bachman, how low can you go? 3 wide. Looked like he was on the Chili Bowl berm there for that second spot. Harold Klump goes through to the race lead. Dixon stuck in second. Side by side for fourth. Kelly Wheeler versus Bud Molyneux. Lap number 1 is led by the 2 of Harold Klump. Bachman for second. Good corner exit there from the 7 using the Murano line. Slides up the hill. Oh, look out. Hang on, Rando. Up the wall he goes. Wheel-to-wheel contact puts the Bandit down to last, and that right rear looks like it's down. He's crab walking, and that'll put the Bandit down in the B main, where he'll have to fight for his right to party in the future. Meanwhile, for that final transfer spot, it's Bud Molyneux's over Andy Patton. For right now, the General able to crisscross as they're side by side for fourth. Meanwhile, Klump hanging on to that top spot. Kelly Wheeler in third, quickest car on the track at a 19:65. He's known to be pretty quick early on in the races, from qualifying to heat races. Just have to see if he can maintain that speed for the feature. Wheeler just follows Bachman right now at the moment. 3 laps to go. Bachman testing the bottom line. Once again, remember, tried to go for the lead on lap 1, but Klump very good on corner exit. That says to follow top, but Wheeler again, quick last time by. The 19:65. Here goes Bachman underneath for the race lead. He was quicker than Klump last time by a 10th. In fact, he's got the quickest car on the track. Bachman puts the 7 out in front as we're coming to the white flag this time by. Up the hill he goes. Harold Klump tries to counter it back in the number 2. Kelly Wheeler witnessing this as he's got the best view for the race win in Heat 5. Winner starts inside row number 3. If you finish second, you start 10th tonight. And Harold Klump is round out of traction. Here comes Sam Bachman through 3 and 4 as he makes onto the row number 3. Bachman, your winner of Heat 5. Klump second, Wheeler third, Molyneux fourth, Patton fifth, and Dixon sixth. And so it's B main time. 13 drivers taking part in this, vying for 4 spots. Here's the starting lineup as Randy Shreves on the pole in the 56. Next to him, it's Pat Boyce in the 41. Row number 2, Weeda Boys, right, Mike Weeda in the 81. And next to him, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 3, the General, Andy Patton in the 87. And Michael Vecchio next to him in the 247. Row 4, Devo, Donovan Ross the 5, and Keith Jackson in the 113. Rounding out the top 10, Gary Offutt in the 94, and the Bandit Randall Dixon in the 011. Row 6, Glenn Sharp in the 99, and Craig Bristow in the 30. Final car on the grid, it's Bob DeGood in the 7. Open 358s. Brought to you by Top Notch Trucking, based out of Minot, North Carolina. Gramps, if you're watching, give us a shout out. Give us a hello. As always, rooting for Isaac and Venom Racing. A big fan of Coast to Coast Racing League action. Gary Sigelkow checking in, rooting for Venom. And so it's a 10-lap B main. Top 4 in. Watch the 4th place driver after lap number 1. That spot belongs to Jeff Barker right now. If you wreck, you're out. Here we go. B main is underway. Do we see the first wreck in 1 lap? What is going to happen? Side by side for seconds in 3 and 4. Pat Boyce has it over Mike Weeda. Jeff Barker right now tries to follow the 81. Lap number 1 led by the 56. 4 wide, and paying the worst price of them all was Andy Patton. Somehow the car stays straight, but I don't think the steering is all pretty good. That's the case. The left front all mashed in. It was flopping around. The General is done here. Jeff Barker's got company for P4. Michael Vecchio leaning on that 513 for 4th. Don't look out, boys. Donovan Ross just sending it deep in 1 and 2. Kisses the wall. Vecchio still wanting that 4th spot. That 5 car of Devo sending it pretty deep into the corners. Now Barker closing in on Boyce and Weeda for that 2nd position. Barker would love to get past Weeda. That would be an insurance spot for right now. It's a 3-car dance for P3. Barker looking low on that number 81 car. Low side's been the place to be here later on this evening. As the track gets to as slick as possible, it seems like you want to be downstairs. Vecchio still trying to grab 4th. Barker able to pull away for right now. Top 5 drivers, though, all ripping the lip. Donovan Ross, Keith Jackson, a good race for 6. A little bit of contact in the back between Jackson and Bristol. It's go time now with 4 laps to go. Top 4 in. Everyone else headed to Dingus a little bit early for either a beer or to get ready for Rebels. I'm not sure that's the best idea. Get ready for Rebels and go to Dingus at the same time. Only one that could do that perfectly is Donovan. 3 laps to go. Barker's had control of 4th all race so far. In fact, top 4 spots have been unchanged. Greg Bristow right now, biggest mover, started in 12th. He's in 7th. 2 laps to go. Weeda trying to grab 2nd from Pat Boyce. Barker still doing a good job through 1 and 2. We'll watch P2 while at it. Oh, and the wall went Vecchio. And that may have just cost him a spot big time. We'll have to hope for a Jeff Barker mistake as the gap has gone up to 3/4 of a second. Final lap underway for Randy Shreves, who's led every lap so far here in this B main. He's had Pat Boyce and Mike Weeda battle for 2nd right behind him, but through turns number 3 and 4, the LGR Motorsports number 56 will see his way through to a B main win. Shreves takes the checkers. 2nd Boyce, 3rd Weeda, 4th Barker, Michael Vecchio, Keith Jackson, Craig Bristow, Randall Dixon, Donovan Ross, Gary Offutt, Glenn Sharp, Bob DeGood, Andy Patton head home early. So we will step aside, take our first break of the night. When we come back, it's our Open 358 feature on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups just wrapping up here in Knoxville as Clay Christopherson, currently the quickest driver on track in 1965. Anthony Morano second, 1966. Bachman third, 1974. Brandon Templeton fourth, 1978. Harold Klum fifth in 1981. Let's see who's checking in chat before we go racing. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat as always, and we're just about ready for go time. So let's get to work. Let's meet the field and give you the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, Dan McLaren in the 88. Next to him, Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 2, Clay Christopherson. He's in the 51, and Gavin Chatham in the 99. Row number 3, Sam Bachman in the 7, Logan Wentz in the 118. Row number 4, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32, and B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Rounding out the top 10, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and Harold Klump in the 2. Row 6, Slide Job Scott Rayome in the 4, and Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. Row 7, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518, and Michael Vitale, the Jokester, in the 213. Row 8, Callie Wheeler in the 110, and Brian Dickens in the 122. Rest of the field, row 9, the 89 of Mason High, and the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row 10, the 83 of the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer, the 883 of Bud Molyneux. Row number 11, it's Randy Shreves of the 56, Pat Boyce of the 41, and the final row, Weedham Boys, Mike Weeda in the 81, and the 513 of the Brew to Beast, Jeff Barker. Well, this is a first. The front row did not grid in time. Now, I'm not kidding. This is the entire front row. And so row number 2 becomes row number 1. Clay Christopherson and Gavin Chatham. I don't know if that's strategy or not. Isaac, you're supposed to start on the front row when you're rooting for Venom. Isaac or Dan, somebody text me what is going on. Dan is in the pit. He'll start from the back. I'm not sure what's going on with Isaac. I wonder if he cowboyed a little bit too hard where he may not be racing, or his VR may be broken possibly. We'll have to see. But we're one lap away from going green with our Flatline Racing Bodies green flag, our first feature of the night. Right now, 22 cages are on track, but it's up to 24 drivers that are ready to take the green flag here for 30 laps in the 358s. For the first time tonight, it is time to shake and bake. Clay Christopherson and Gavin Chatham see the Steve King Foundation pace car pull on the pit road. They're the front row, first feature of the night. It's time to get it on here at Knoxville. Fireworks go up for our first feature of the night. Clay Christopherson leads over Sam Bachman. Morano and Chatham, the teammates, side by side for third. Putt leads lap number one. In fact, Full Throttle Motorsports own the entire top five right now. Christopherson, Bachman, Morano, Chatham, and Wentz. Your best battle on track here for P3. Now it's three wide. B-Temp looking to go in a 2-for-1 discount. Could have the potentiality of going 4 wide off for turn 4. That's not the case. Logan Wentz side wide and handsome off of turn 2. Contact, look out, Clump on 2 wheels. Reynolds sideways, Templeton up on 2 wheels. He's lost the right front. Yellow flag waves for the first time tonight. So B-Temp with the number 31 pays the biggest price. Contact between him and Reynolds. So 79 just went up the hill, and Templeton just gets the worst of it. Was in a good battle for third. Just trying to hang on, and unfortunately the wall won. First yellow flag is out here at the Knoxville Raceway. If you are just joining us and looking for Rebels, that's coming up next. We had a higher car count than anticipated, so we had 2 extra heats tonight and a lot of cars in a B main. But hey, you know what they say, the more the merrier, right? First restart of the night coming up here. Clay Christopherson, Sam Bachman, row number 1. Anthony Morano, Gavin Chatham, row 2. Logan Wentz, Harold Klump, row 3. Dean Reynolds, Scott Rayome, row 4. Jason Butterfield, Michael Vitale round out the top 10. Christopherson, the control car, he selects the bottom. He's got the right to fire first. And he fires now. We're back to green. Immediately hold serve on Bachman and the Morano, and the Magic Ant-Man in his preferred line, looking for P2 on the 51, and he's got it. Chatham and Wentz side by side for fourth. Again, FTM owns the entire top 4, or entire top 5. They're trying to own the entire top 6 with Dean Reynolds as he battles with Harold Klump for 6th. Top 3 drivers all working together. You've got the teammates, Wentz and Chatham for 4th. So we're 5 laps through with our 30-lap feature this evening. Both groups working out really well, like it was at the quarter-way mark at Oswego Speedway during the Coast to Coast 200. How about Scott Rayome? Slide job Scotty, who won last week's race. It's got maybe a car and a half. He's up to 6th. So now FTM owns the entire top 6 spots. Dean Reynolds now wants to try and own the top 7 spots here. And I'm trying to see if there's another Full Throttle Motorsports driver in this race, and nope. 7 FTM cars, I believe, in this one. If there's an FTM driver watching right now that's not racing, confirm that for me, please. Scott Rayome started 11th in the feature. 9th if you count the front row backing out. He's made his way up to 6th. And he is working that top side of the racetrack. Can he grab 5th off the corner? Ooh, Wentz touches the berm there. May have helped him out a little bit, though. Meanwhile, as they race for position, the top 3 have worked together as we're approaching the 1/3 mark here in this feature. Clay Christopherson leads by 0.3 of a second on Anthony Morano. Let's show you the 5-lap average here for the first time tonight, actually. It's about to pop up here. Second yellow flag waves here. That's the 5-lap average as we went into the yellow flag. It is out for Greg Parmalee in the number 4. He is towed it to the pits, which means likely some terminal damage. Can use that quick repair, though. Parmalee was in 16th. Ooh, he got hooked from Weeda, and up and over went the 4 with the heavy impact. That turned from Parmalee to Parmesan cheese. What a ride the 4-car took. So lights are off, final double file restart set to go here. Christopherson, Morano, Bachman, Chatham, Rayome, Wentz, and all FTM top 6 at the moment. If that's the case, or maybe if Dean Reynolds finishes 7th, we may have to interview all of them. Who knows? Back to green as we're 10 laps through in this one. Morano has to get on the binder. Same with Bachman. A little bit of a stack up on the bottom. Could allow Chatham and Wentz to have an advantage. Could gain some momentum here. Everyone looks to be all good. Chatham. Bachman in a battle for 3rd. Brandon Templeton is towed the number 31. No yellow flag. We stay green. And the front 2 drivers have broken away from the peloton pack. Bachman and Chatham still side by side for the bounce up of the podium. It's Bachman riding the berm. Is able to clear Gavin Chatham for P3, and it seems like the low line is the place to be. You want to get there as soon as possible. So it'll definitely help that we'll have a single file restart coming up, especially if you're scored in an even position. when we get our next yellow flag, or yeah, when we get our next yellow flag, if that's the case. Harold Klump, Michael Vitale, a good battle for P7 on the track. Scott Rayome up the hill. He hangs on to P6 for right now. Vitale and Klump the best battle for the 7th spot. Klump with the preferred line. Look at this pack racing though off of turn number 2. This is like probably 7 or 8 cars all under a blanket racing for P7. Look at this. 3 wide. Oh, hang on, Dino. Up the wall, stacks up with Dittmer, as well as Mason Hine. The 79 hangs on to her, now nearly gets yeeted by Wida. Meanwhile, 3 wide for 7th spot. Kelly Wheeler, Jason Butterfield, Harold Klump. Where did Butters come from? Well, he came from 12th and now makes contact with Kelly. Good saves all around. Biggest mover on track is that 110 of Wheeler. Started 15th and is up to 7th. Actually now making Wida in the 81 up 9 from 23rd to 14th. 12 laps to go. Christopherson leading by 0.6 of a second on Anthony Morano. Putt-putts led every lap so far tonight. And we go back to P5. Again, it's an all FTM top 6. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger lockout like this one in the past. $11 to go. We're coming to 10 next time by. We'll pull up the 5-lap average for those of you wondering at home. Christopherson and Bachman each the quicker race cars on track at the moment. And now a bunch of drivers have moved up high. Joseph Grandi, the odd man out underneath. Butterfield hanging on for 8th. The jokester, 100 grand, got company. A fun fact about Clay Christopherson, with 9 laps to go, he has never won an open 358 race in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Putt-Putt's won a couple in the past. Last win coming a couple of days ago in a 360 sprint at I-55. And that was in the Rebels, so he has won in the past, but never an open 358 race. Last time he won in the mods was on Boxing Day. That was with, I believe, in the Big Block Series at Wheat Sport, and it was. Could Morano be catching him, though? We'll have to see. Kelly Wheeler trying to break the draw of the top 6. We got trouble, meanwhile. Dean Reynolds on the wall. No caution yet. He's trying to keep her going. Staying green. Drives her down into the berm. They snail's pace. We stay under the green. Morano slowly, though, catching Christopherson. 5 fingers in the air. 5 laps to go as Dino brings the 79 in the pits. Logan Wentz hanging on, trying to keep the top 6 streak alive. Regardless, though, if Logan doesn't finish in 6th, an FDM top 5 shutout would be one of the greatest finishes I've ever seen by a single team. And of course, we know the FTM team is one of the conglomerates in modified racing. Probably not just in coast to coast, but you could possibly say in all of iRacing. Christopherson, though, has company for the win in Anthony Morano. You know, I would not be surprised if Morano waited to make his move until the final lap. 3 laps to go. Back to the 5-lap average, and you'll clearly see the Magic Ant-Man is the quickest car on the track when the time is right. 2 sticks in the air, 2 laps to go. Will Morano force putt-putt into a mistake? have to see. Gustafsson tries to exit a little bit higher than the 51. Kristofferson, though, can feel the pressure. White flag is out. Is it going to be putt-putt stay or the Magic Ant-Man? 32 just following the 51. Final shot in turn number 3 and 4. Morano sends it up top. Does it have anything off the corner? No, it doesn't. A first-time Open 358 winner. It's Clay Kristofferson. Morano second, Bachman third, Chatham fourth, and Rayom fifth. It is an all FTM top 5 lockout. Put 5 of them on that podium. So the FTM 51, the mellow yellow tribute to Coulter Cole and Kyle Petty, about to park it at Victory Lane. Biggest mover this evening, up 9 spots, it was Wida. What a moment it is, though, for Full Throttle Motorsports. Reminder, we've got the Rebels division coming up next. We'll try and make these interviews as quick as possible so we can get set to go for the Rebels and not have to force another new session. So we'll hop into Discord right now. Well, we got 2 of the 3. We'll bring in third place finisher Sam Bachman. Sam, first off, an FTM top 5. How's that feel?
It feels pretty good that we can get all the guys up here and get a top 5, so that's pretty exciting.
Well, Sam, take me through your race as a whole, starting 5th and finishing 3rd. We got to make it quick, though, as we got Rebels coming up in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I was really working the bottom. It felt pretty good. I was sticking with them pretty good, and then probably like last 10 laps, it started walking me a little bit, so I kind of started exploring a little bit, and yeah, they're just a little bit faster than me, that's all.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, Dean over at Super Dark Car Series, Expert Installation, Marty, you for broadcasting, and Coast to Coast.
Alrighty, man. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Sam Bachman, your 3rd place finisher. Now we go to our 2nd place finisher, Anthony Morano in the 32. I forgot he's got this on there.
I was just talking to Clay with him, like, oh man, Marty's gonna pull me up there.
Well, at least he didn't flip it like the pit
Very
lizard
true.
pimp.
Very true.
So, hey, an all FTM top 5. How's that feel?
That's awesome, man. Anytime we can get a top 5, how can you complain about that? It's always great for the team, and we all were having fun out there, so that's the important part.
Absolutely. Real quick, what more did you need for Clay?
I needed Clay to screw up.
Pretty much.
That was it. I mean, Clay actually is the one that taught me to run the bottom, so it's kind of I know I'm not going to get around him down there. So I tried a few different things during the race, run in the middle, even threw it all the way up to the cushion a couple times, and there was nothing up there. So I just tucked in behind and rode it out. And that was all I could do. That was it.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys at FTM here, great group of guys. Dina Supercar, Logan at High Mount Lens, Gunnar at Swan Speech Up. He just put out this setup today, and the thing was on rails. High Mount Lens, I said, DJ Sim Shop, Bowman's Designs, Expert Installation, Casper Flagstone, MDI TV, Marty, you for doing a broadcast, and Coast to Coast, and Top Notch Trucking for sponsoring division.
Alrighty, well, great job tonight.
Thanks, Marty.
Anthony Morano finishing in 2nd. Let's go to Clay Kristofferson. Bring him on in here. Clay, your first Open 358 win. I know you've won modified races before, but your first series win, how's this one feel?
Oh, really good. When I can pick my own gear and fuel ratio and stuff to run the bottom, I'll do that any day.
I hate to make it quick since we got Rebels coming up in a moment, but take me through your race. Just looked absolutely dominant.
I knew the bottom was going to be consistent. Might not be the fastest right away, but luckily it was. And I knew guys were just going to be stacked up top if that was the case. So I planned on running the bottom. I geared for the bottom to keep momentum, and the car was just a rocket ship from the start.
Well, hey, man, you got to enjoy this one, that's for sure. Who do you want to give shout outs to?
You guys for putting this on, all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block setups.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win. Definitely enjoy it. We gonna see you in Rebels.
Nope, I'm taking the rest of the night off. Kiddo's birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday to the kid, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, sir.
Putt Clay Christopherson, your winner. We're gonna take our first break of the night. When we come back, it's Rebels time of the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight when we were talking about it,
outpouring of Love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
And we are back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are just about ready to go here for the Rebels division. And we are definitely excited for this one, with it being a Knoxville Raceway and the return of a bunch of other drivers here. 21 Rebels with us this evening here at the Sprint Car Capital of the World. Bryce Calla back with you again. So glad you all could join us. As always, let us know who you are rooting for in the chat. Get a nice view from over top the Sprint Car Capital of the World. Racetracks and sunsets there. Beautiful Knoxville sunsets, as always, there at the track. In Rebels, anyone can enter, unless you're a Renegade. Then you can only enter in the Renegade division. Top 5 drivers out of the Rebels will transfer to Renegades pending IL. 21 drivers with us. Andy Patton, the quickest, 15:027, followed by Donovan Ross, Gary Offa, Keith Jackson, and Roger Craig. So here we go for qualifying. Check and see who the first driver is on the racetrack. And we will watch the Bassman, Roger Craig. Somebody actually beat out Brandon Templeton onto the racetrack. Pop up the times here on your screen. And again, green means they're working on their best lap. Purple means they're working on a pole lap. Craig and Templeton will each set the bar here in qualifying. Actually, it's Craig to go, as he has a 16:21. Brandon Templeton quickest, 16:20. Andy Patton answers it back. And same with Keith Jackson. Has not lost the talent. He's got a sprint car. 16:043 right now. But Dan McLaren, second quickest in Sector 1, 16:09. Jackson the quickest in Sector number 2. We'll see what the 88 car has. Normally in second lap times, you're a little bit off the pace. Here comes McLaren off of turn 4. He's in the green. This could be a good one. 16:10, unfortunately. The Goose, Chad Cote, third quick in the number 11. He's got a 16:09 as well. Here comes the Goose off for turn number 4. Is he in the green in Sector 2? This could be close. 16:12 on lap number 2. 2 drivers left to qualify. Steve Maurer, 19:16.56. Here comes Curtis. He completes his second lap time, and it's a 17:36. Here comes Maurer off at turn number 4. Better in sector 2. He stays in 19th. So qualifying in the books, Keith Jackson the quickest, 16:04.3. And with that being said, we are ready to go for heat race number 1. Heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's the starting lineup as the mayor is on the pole. Steve Bixler in the 75. Next to him, it's the 41 of Pat Boys. Row 2, the General, Andy Patton in the 87, and Keith Jackson in the 113. Row number 3, Cale Bixler in the 789, and Mike Cranmer in the number 70. And the final car on the grid this evening, Steve Maurer in the 888. Everyone transfers into the show this evening, and the winner is on the pole. Chad Cote checking in. Good evening to you, sir, and yes, Happy New Year as well. The first Monday Night Madness of 2025. I just realized that. Are you one like me that always says the former year? Like I keep thinking it's 2024? Although we did do a New Year's Eve show, which was the Coast to Coast 200, won by Murano. Field here rolls off for the first Rebel heat. I believe the first of 3 heats. Steve King Foundation pace truck on pit road. We are ready for the green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
A pair of salty dogs bringing us to green. Keith Jackson wants to go for the 4th to 1st charge on lap number 1, but past Pat Boys. Center right his face. Mike Cranmer near contact with Keith Jackson as the 113 center deep. Lap number 1 led by the mayor, Steve Bixler. Side by side for P3. Jackson has it over Andy Patton. And everyone makes it into the show regardless of where you finish in your heat race. Jackson trying to grab the 2nd spot. He may even try and go for the 2-for-1 discount, but can you do it on that slick bottom? We'll just have to see as Boys continues to follow the mayor. Aboard that 741 of Boys. As he tries to chase after Bixler. We're coming to the halfway point this time. And Bixler, by the way, has just crashed. He puts her into the pits. The 3-car battle for the top spot. Jackson still trying to get the bottom to work. Oh, hang on there, Keith. Sideways against the 41, and this allows the General Andy Patton to close in. 3 laps to go. And this allows Bixler to pull away. 0.3 of a second the gap between him and Boyce. Jackson stuck down in 4th. He may be contending tonight in the feature for not just the win, but also the Hard Charger Award this evening. Patton trying to get to 2nd. He's already passed Jackson. Now can he grab Boyce for P2? Final lap underway here, and Heat 1 for the pole position. And it looks like it'll be the mayor of Clarence, Iowa, that'll become the mayor of Knoxville to take the green flag. Patton underneath for 2nd. Who's going to get at the end? Chuckers. Oh, they get together. Patton hard in the wall, upside down, but finishes 3rd. What an ending to this one as the mayor takes the win in Heat 1. Good view here of the streets of Knoxville, ready for heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Here's the starting lineup. As Jeffrey Kemper on the pole in the 181. Next to him, it's B. Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 2, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518, and Dan McLaren in the 88. Row 3, Mason Hine in the 89, and Greg Parmalee in car number 4. Final car on the grid this evening, the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. Winner starts on the front row for our 30-lap feature.
Green, green.
We are green for heat race number 2. Side by side, McLaren able to clear on both Templeton and Kemper. How about it? McLaren already from the back is led lap number 1. By the back, I mean from 4th, as he was second quickest in qualifying. Joseph Grandy underneath, slide job, takes away the 2nd spot. Templeton up to 3rd. Greg Parmalee trying to finish 4th just like he did in the Open 358 heats with that brand new paint job. Ooh, Kemper and Taylor, that's tight. The 34 in the wall in turn 2. And has to back out of it because of it. McLaren, the quickest car on track, 16:13 last lap. That time by 16:24, still remains the quickest, increasing that gap. Right now, about 0.8 of a second on Dan McLaren. Dan McLaren about 0.8 of a second on Joseph Grandy, to be specific. Look at this race for 4, Jeffrey Kemper. Can he slot between the 31 and the 4? Not just yet, but Parmalee in the wall. Good save by Greg. Three laps to go in the second heat. Kemper, can he catch the 31 of beat Temp for the 3rd spot? We'll have to see. 2 to go in heat 2 for Dan McLaren. He won his heat race in the Open 358, but it was not easy. Barely beat Logan Wentz. Final lap underway. Let's go to that race for 3rd here. Kemper's caught Templeton. Side by side, you know your top 2. Who's going to finish 3rd here? They're wing to wing off the corner. Templeton's got a lane. It's going to be close. Oh, my goodness. Way too close. Templeton by 2,000ths is what SDK says. Per iRacing timing, it was beat up by 2,000ths. Wow, 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 wow. We now do go to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. On the front row, Gary Offut and the Bassman, Roger Craig, 94 and 747. Row 2, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32, and the Goose, Jack Cote in the 11. Row number 3, Bud Molyneux in the 83, and Devil, Donovan Ross in the 5, and the final car on the grid, Bob Curtis in the 012. Here we go for the green heat 3. Winner starts on the inside of row number 2 underway. yellow light really on the number 5. Slider from Ross. He leads. 3 wide, look out, Craig contacted with offer once, twice. How nobody got sideways, I don't know. Watch the goose check. Cote trying to go 2 for 1. Craig and Cote had a hell of a heat race last week at I-55. Morano trying to become a factor in this threesome. Could count it a foursome here too. Meanwhile, Donovan Ross has pulled away at his home track. 6.5 tenths the gap between him and Gary Offutt. Cote once again. Actually, look at Morano trying to go for the Kmart 2 for 1 discount. Oh my, Cote! Crisscross from high to low, but caught the berm. If he didn't, that would have been a 2 for 1. Morano, oh, big wreck! Molyneux, upside down. There was some slight contact there with Chad Cote. Donovan Ross, 7 tenths of a second between him and Gary Offutt. Makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. Devo with a dominant heat win. Offutt second, Craig third, Morano fourth, Cote fifth, Curtis sixth, Molyneux seventh. And so heat races are done. Step aside and go to break. When we come back, it's feature time of the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups just wrapping up here at the moment. Dan McLaren the quickest, the 16:39. Chad Cote second, 16:45. Keith Jackson third, 16:46. Joseph Grandy fourth, 16:50. And fifth, Andy Patton, is 16:55. So we are ready to go for our feature. Let's meet the field and give you the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Next to him, Dan McLaren in the 88. Row number 2, the 05 of Donovan Ross. Steve O's next to 41 of Pat Boyce. Row 3, Joseph Grandy in the 518 and Gary Offutt in the 94. Row 4, the general, Andy Patton in the 87, and B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Rounding out the top 10, the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747, and Keith Jackson in the 113. Row number 6, Jeff Kemper in the 181, and the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Row 7, Mike Cranmer in the 70, and Greg Parmalee in the 4. Row number 8, the Goose, Jack Cote in the 11, and Steve Maurer in the 88. And the final 3 rows, Mason Hine in the 89, Bob Curtis in the 012, Cale Bixler in the 789, and the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34, and starting 21st, Bud Molyneux in the 883. Let's know who you're rooting for in the chat, and as always, glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you on the call. .30 laps, top 5 drivers advance to Renegades pending on their IL. Ready for the Flatline Racing Body's green flag for 30 laps around the Knoxville Raceway. Field in 3 and 4, Steve King Foundation Pace Truck makes the left-hand turn onto pit road. For the second time tonight, it is time to shake and bake. The mayor commands the field at bay with Soupy next to him. It's time to get it on at Knoxville for the Rebels division. Three wide for the race lead. Now 3 wide for second. Oh my, Bixler and Boyce get together. Pat Boyce out of the ballpark and a huge crash. Offutt upside down. Bixler upside down. Violent at the green flag. Bixler was not aware that Boyce was to his outside and he paid the price. Heavy crash. Couple of onboards we'll watch here. Let's go with Gary Offutt. And now Steve Bixler. Set to come green this time by here. Only have one green flag lap complete. McLaren, the control car, he selects the bottom as the new race leader.
Green, green, green.
McLaren holds serve of the 88. Ross second, Grandy third, Patton and Templeton race for P4. Oh, but Molyneux has crashed. We're back to yellow. That is in turn 3, and I think we had some more issues with Mike Cranmer and Cale Bixler possibly. Contact with Maurer, put him up in the wall. Ooh, Bob Curtis actually caught the wall too. Here's the extracurriculars that happening. Watch Mike Cranmer in the 70. Wow, what a wreck. Man, 2 cars upside down too. Oh, what a hit. All right, 1 lap to green. Here we go for the green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
McLaren able to hold serve in that 88, 3 wide for second. Oh my, Grandy! Ross Templeton somehow avoids danger, and there goes the 518 for a very wild ride. This has not been the start anyone expected for the Rebels. Well, you saw Grandy's perspective. Look at Donovan Ross off for turn number 2. Just came up, kind of like Dino and B-Temp. Ron, man, wicked. Right on board with Joseph. So Ross, Parmalee, all the drivers involved to the back of the field. And so now move McLaren stays out in front. Move Andy Patton up to second. Kemper, Morano, and Jackson round out the top 5. You've got Colte and Hine each up in 10 spots. Taylor up 11, and I don't even think we've had a green flag lap come in yet. So again, single file restarts rest of the race. Four laps complete. 26 remain. McLaren able to pull away from Andy Patton just a little bit. 3-car battle for third. Morano and Ethan Kemper. Look at Keith Jackson trying to find the lane closed up, and he hits the binders just a bit. Morano started 12th. He's already up to third, and it's only lap 6. You'd think those yellow flags that were happening in front of him for helping him out on that. Jackson still trying to find that lane. How low can you go, Keithy? Stay side by side for third. Both of them actually catching up to Andy Patton at the same time. Patton with a preferred line on corner exit, but Jackson, quickest car on track at a 16.83. Jackson actually caught the berm as well. Now moves up to the cushion. Donovan Ross, Bud Molyneux have crashed. We're back to yellow. Should we replay on what happened? Ooh. Oh, man. Cranmer and Molyneux got up into Ross. Around they all went. Let's go on board with the 883. So getting ready for the green flag. Should have the lights go off next time by. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. If you're looking for the Renegades, that'll be coming up next. We've had bigger car counts than expected in Open 358s and the Rebels. Gonna watch this restart from the aerial shot. McLaren, Patton, Jackson, Morano, and Cote. That is your current top 5.
Green, green, green.
As we come back to green. A lot of passing, but watch the battle for second. Jackson trying to pass the general. Good exit. He is so good on the bottom on corner exit and now move. Keith Jackson up to P2. Patton trying to fight back. That's going to be tough, though. Morano and Ford now tries for that bottom step of the podium and Andy Patton. Didn't get third line, could get it next time by, but the yellow waves. Joseph Grandy and Jeffrey Kemper have crashed. Look at the replay, watch Grandy. Kemper's in front of him. Did he bike it? It came down to Joseph Grandy and around they went. Gary Taylor catches a quick piece of it. Another car involved. I think that was Kale. On board with Kemper. Big hello as well in Jack Corey Schartzer, and he is actually doing the exact same thing I'm doing. We got Coast to Coast on one screen, and then we've got WWE Raw Netflix premiere on the other screen. So if you've seen my setup, I got a little monitor on top of my super wide, and so I've got that sneaking up top so I can catch that whenever we get a break. Lap number 13, 5-lap average. Let's check that out. So update pretty quick, and it looks to be Keith Jackson, the quickest driver on track, was Joseph Grandy as well. Remember, had to use a quick repair earlier as he gets ready to restart in the 8th position. Remember, top 5 drivers transfer. IL dependent, though. Couple laps shy from the halfway point. We're back to green.
Green, green, green.
McLaren able to hold serve here. Jackson up to second. Here comes Morano. Second chance for third. Trying to rip the lip. Use the cushion to his advantage. Patton slides up. Shuts the door. Trying to look underneath once again for that bottom step. Patton still with third for right now. Let's go mid-pack. Joseph Grandy has rebounded up to 6th. He has passed Roger Craig for the spot. Next target, Chad Cote, the Goose for 5th. The field staying single file. Morano still trying to grab that third spot from Andy Patton. Using the line that I believe Jackson was using earlier that got to get past him for a spot. And now the Magic Ant-Man slides up. Patton counters back. Halfway home, 15 up, 15 down. Next time by, 14 to go. Morano caught the berm there for just a moment. Patton trying to fight back. Look at the last 5 laps here between Jackson and McLaren. You can see it's back and forth here ever since we took the green flag. Now Patton's got company in the form of Chad Cote and Joseph Grandy for 4th position. 2 spots to Renegades on the line here. Patton's lost the bottom. The top right now where you want to be. If you're that number 87. Cote up to 4th. Who grabs 5th? And that's Joseph Grandy. Caution waves. Mike Cranmer on lap number 19. It all looks good on that 70. Was this just a simple spin around? Maurer got on the quarter panel. Looks like Maurer didn't have a lot of turn-in. On board with the 70 car. There's Maurer behind him. Just didn't have a lot of turn-in. Should go one lap to green. A reminder, Renegades coming up next on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. All right, we'll try this restart once again. "11 laps to go. Dan McLaren the leader, Keith Jackson second, Anthony Morano third, Chad Cote fourth, Joseph Grandy rounds out the top 5.
Green, green, green.
Back to green. McLaren holds serve, but obviously with the yellow, Keith Jackson the closest he's been to Dan McLaren. He could contend for the race lead as long as McLaren doesn't make any mistakes. Look at McLaren trying to rip the cushion like Kyle Larson in Tulsa, but Keith Jackson just so good right in the Murano line on the bottom. Very good in 1 and 2 is McLaren, but Jackson better through turns number 3 and 4. McLaren, though, up on the wall. Jackson's got the advantage possibly, but it's McLaren by about 5 car lengths with 9 to go. On board that 113 of Jackson. And there he goes to the bottom, right next to the berm. If McLaren makes a mistake up on that cushion, Keith Jackson will pounce, that's for sure. Again, just trying to power off of it like Young Money did at the Tulsa Shootout on Saturday. 8 to go. Morano third. He may have gone out of the ballpark, though. Nope, he was just lagging. He's good. Cote fourth and Grandy fifth. This is getting interesting, down to a quarter of a second. There's McLaren's lap times. There's Jackson's lap times. 3 of the last 5 for McLaren are in red, which means Jackson's the quickest car on the track. McLaren up on the wall. Are his tires starting to run out? There is traffic ahead with 5 laps to go. That's Bob Curtis in the 012 and 17. They are wing to wing off for turn 2. Now where do you go if you're McLaren and Jackson? Oh! McLaren had to left because Curtis was in the middle. New leader Keith Jackson with 4 laps to go. McLaren had to play it safe than sorry. He's lucky though he's still in second instead of out of this race. McLaren sends it deep, has to get on the binders. That cushion just pretty much ran out of real estate. And now Jackson has turned on the afterburners. But McLaren back up on the top trying to rip the lip with 3 to go. Again, it has been forever since we last saw Keith Jackson race. Would have to double check the stats. 2 sticks in the air, 2 laps to go, 0.2 of a second the gap. McLaren still with a shot at the win. He's got to have a perfect final lap on the high side. White flag is out. We're on the final lap. And it's been forever since we last saw Keith Jackson in the Coast to Coast Racing League. However, though, in his homecoming return at a track he is so good at, the Knoxville Raceway, he gets to park the 113 in victory lane. Keith Jackson wins the Rebels division. McLaren second, Cote third. Your biggest mover up 12 spots. Morano in fourth and Grandy in fifth. I'd have to check the stats for last time we saw Keith Jackson. If the stats are put up ASAP, I can tell you the details. Jackson, McLaren, Cote, Morano, Grandy can move up to Renegades pending IL. Let's look at the top 10 at 16 drivers on the lead lap. Alrighty, we'll get your top three all in here in just a moment. I do want to double check as well those stats once we get them updated with Keith Jackson. But I don't believe they will update until the night ends, so I don't know if we'll get the last time that we saw Keith Jackson race with us. We do have, though, our third place finisher, Chad Cote, your biggest mover of the race as well. Chad, we got to make this quick, though, with Renegades approaching. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, just avoid the first couple of wrecks and cautions, put it at the top, let her eat, and see where I finish.
And you definitely took that to your advantage, man, that's for sure. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the guys over at All American Motorsports, Marty, you for the broadcast, and Roger for the league.
Awesome, man. Sorry to make this quick, but appreciate the time. Best of luck in Renegades, all right?
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Chad Cote finishing third. Let's go to the second place finisher. And that is Dan McLaren. Dan,
hey.
I got to make this quick, man. Do you think that Keith would have gotten past you regardless of the lap traffic?
Yeah, he was running the bottom really good. I noticed that he was making ground on me in the last, 10 laps. But the top still felt good, but I should have went down to the bottom maybe, with 5 to go or something, because it looked like there was more grip down there. But no, it was a good race.
Were you starting to run out of the top at the same time, or was it just getting dangerous to run up there?
1 and 2 wasn't bad. 3 and 4 was a little sketchy, but all in all, that was still a lot of fun.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All you guys doing the broadcast every night, every week, everyone behind the scenes for Coast to Coast, and I want to thank JRB Designs, Born to Foam, spray foam insulation, and yeah, that's it.
All righty, well, we'll let you go. Great job. Best of luck in Renegades. All right, Soupy?
Thanks, Marty.
All righty, let's go to your race winner here. Keith Jackson and his welcome back return. Where the hell have you been?
I've been busy, man. How you been, Marty?
I've been good, man. I've been good. All right, we got to make it quick, unfortunately, with Renegades approaching. Take me through that pass there at the end, using the lap traffic as a pick.
Yeah, I got lucky that I don't know who it was, but he was just kind of running right there in the middle and kind of took Dan's line from him. And I'd been running the bottom, I wasn't going to leave it. Felt like I was running him down a little bit, and then I'd miss, and then he'd, gain back on me, and then I'd miss a little bit, and he'd gain back on me. And then luckily enough, we caught that lap traffic, and he was able to hold him up enough for me to sneak under there. And the rest was just how it went, just able to hit my line there and not miss the bottom.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run? What a great win using the bottom.
Devo, Jack, Greg, Gary, you guys for putting this thing on, and Roger and all them, everything they do for us to give us something to do here on weeknights. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, we'll let you go, man. Congratulations, welcome back. I can't remember the last time we saw you. You may happen to know.
No, it's been a while, man. It's been a long while.
All right,
but,
so you don't have a specific date or a month.
I don't, my friend.
All right, well, hey, we'll let you go. Congratulations, good luck in Renegades. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2 in the sprints.
All right, thanks, Marty.
Keith Jackson, the winner here. Let's step aside. We'll go to break. Coming up next on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, the Renegades. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we get ready to go here for the Renegades at Knoxville. The big guns are ready to go here. 24 drivers with us tonight. Right now, the defending Knoxville Nationals champion. The quickest man out here, Patrick Spangler. The high side banger at a 15 even. Couple of 15 even times here. Chad Griggs second. Those will be the 2 to watch out for. Gavin Chatham third. Tyler Wilson fourth. And Jack Clevenger. While we are at it, while we get ready to go, maybe waiting for 1 or 2 more drivers here. Let's give you the schedule here for next week, or for the rest of the week, I should say, as well. Tomorrow night, on Wednesday night, we've got Hometown Heroes with Midgets 360s and 410s at Huset's at 7 p.m. Shaggy will have the broadcast for you for that. Shaggy also has the broadcast for 2 of the 3 races on Thursday Night Thunder, small blocks and big blocks at Limaland. Then the Pro Late Models will be broadcast by Extreme eSpeed TV. We'll be back with you on Monday night next week at the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway, for Open 358 mods and Rebels and Renegades. Believe they're doing some drivers meeting stuff here. Watch some other drivers here at the moment. Randy Shreves, one that can be pretty good at Knoxville. Always a dark horse when it comes to picks. 15:46 with the quickest time. Look how tight the speeds are here in practice. So qualifying here. I just realized they were qualifying. Holy crap. My bad. I'm a little bit distracted right now with WWE at the same time, but Randy Shreves, the quickest in qualifying. I don't even have my chat loaded up. I wish someone could have let me know that it was qualifying. But anyway, regardless, heat 1, set to go. We've got them all gridded up. Randy Shreves, the quickest. I believe just 3 heats tonight. For each, yep, that is the case. 3 heats of 8. Heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. The starting lineup has the Money King, Kyle Moonen on the pole. Next to him, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. Row 2, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Next to him, Randy Shreves in the 56. Row 300 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. And Chad Griggs in the 27. Final row, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. And Dan McLaren in the 88. Field rolls off. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat this evening. We're glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Winner on pole here. Everyone makes it into the show with a car count of 24. Moonen and Atkinson ready to bring us to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
Heat 1 is on for the Renegades. Good start for Kyle Moonen, but Jesse Atkinson trying to go around the outside for the race lead. Tyler Wilson following soon that 42 accident with a small bump to Kyle Moonen. A 4-car battle for the race lead on lap number 2. Moonen led the opening circuit. Shreves tries to dive in. Atkinson and Moonen gets sideways. Tyler Wilson, oh yeah, 2-for-1 discount. And the Macho Man to the race lead. Look at Moonen trying to get back around the outside for that top spot. Doesn't work just yet. Shreves underneath for second. And he has a look at Chad Griggs. Didn't have a good qualifying run. Start in 6th. I wonder if he was looking for the invert. And he's already up to 4th. On board that 56, who again was the quickest in qualifying. Looked underneath. Wilson a little bit tight. Shreves, small diamond. Chad Griggs again. Sideways this time from a Moonen bump. This is some good stuff here with the Renegades, as Wilson still trying to grab that lead from Shreves. Two laps to go in Heat 1. Actually, check next time by. Everyone all pretty much single filed out on this tacky surface. Ooh, Griggs to the wall. I don't know if that damaged his right front. I don't think it did. All is well regardless. He is in the show. Atkinson low for second. Did he grab it? No. Wilson's got him cleared still. Shreves looking to start on pole tonight here in the Renegades division. As he makes his way through turns number 3, 1 up the hill goes Wilson. You know who's going to win this heat for second at the line. Wilson over Atkinson. Griggs 4th, Moonen 5th, Grandy 6th, Morano 7th, and McLaren in 8th. We now go to Heat 2, which is brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Jack hit Jack Clevenger. The Jacks on the front row. Behind them in row number 2, the low-line master, Brennan Lacey, next to Brad Waite in the 814. Row 3, the KSR teammates, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20, and Shorty John Short in the 51. Final row, Bob DeGo in the 7, and the Brood to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Gary Spangler checking in this evening. As always, rooting for the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Winner starts on the outside of row 1 this evening for the 35-lap feature as the green flag waves for Heat 2. Good start for Jack Clevenger. Brad Waite goes around the outside looking for the second spot on Gentleman Jack, who won this season's virtual Chili Bowl in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Short looking for the third spot. Clevenger has led lap number 1. Up the hill goes the 51. He's sideways! Bang! Into the wall he goes and up and over. Look at the air time he got as the front end dug in. Here comes Waite. Slider for the lead. It's got it. Clevenger with a crisscross, though, going into turns 3 and 4. Another slider once again. Counter back, the 814's got it. Slide job city here at the Knoxville Raceway. Here comes Jack Hitt to get into this battle too. So Waite, who timed second quickest in qualifying, up to the front of this field. Jack Hitt trying to grab that second spot on the 78, but Clevenger is trying to get the 814 reeled back in once again. About a car length separating the top two, with Hitt getting involved in this battle as well. Clevenger, small diamond in 3 and 4, trying to get the low line to work in. Has it lost some moisture, though, is the question. Ooh, Clevenger a little sideways off for turn 2. Allow Jack Hitt to close in. There's the crossover from the 217 in the battle for P2. Final lap underway. Well, you know who's going to win Heat 2? It's Brad Waite. Who's going to get second? Ooh, Clevenger tried the slide job. Hitt prevails to finish P2 as Brad Waite starts in the front row this evening. Now we move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's the starting lineup. As the Goose is on the pole, Chad Cote. Next to him, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 2, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in car 39. Next to him, the Bandy-built master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Row 3, Gavin Chatham in the 99. And the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. In the final row this evening, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161. And Keith Jackson in the 113. Final heat race winner starts inside of row number 2. The Goose Dino to bring us to green, and we are underway for heat 3. Good start for Reynolds, and the 11 makes contact with a 49. Close call there. Brandon Dittmer, little sideways as he hops the cushion in turn 3, keeps it going. And Dino is checked out of the hotel. Already a half-second lead on the Goose. Bandy's already up a spot underneath on the 11 for P2. But now look at Cote. Dino made a mistake somewhere. And the Goose was a quarter of a second faster compared to the 79 car. Brandon Dittmer already up a row into P4. Tries to go downstairs on Bandy for the 3rd spot. Field all pretty much spread out here. Chatham hanging out underneath, trying to see if he can find some grip, but it may have cost him downstairs. Patrick Spangler who looks to be better on the bottom, tests it out. Nothing there. On board the high side banger, who started third in this heat race. He's stuck in sixth. Meanwhile, Cote and Bandy have caught your race leader, but this side-by-side battle for second. Up the 79, pull away. There's a slider from Bandy. Cote counters. 2 laps to go in the heat. Another slider from the 11. Bandy again, slider. Here comes the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. 1 lap to go here in the heat race. Wild finish to the end of this one. Bandy wants the slider for P2. What does Cote do? Keeps her up top. Bandy with the slider. Cote crosses over. Who finishes second in the heat? Cote over Bandy. We have seen some close finishes, whether it be for the win or for second tonight. And we will step aside now for warm-ups. When we come back, we've got a 35-lap feature on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups wrapping up here at the Knoxville Raceway. Quickest car on track, Joseph Granny at a 16:1:11. Brad Waite second at a 16:15. Blake Chapman third, 16:20. Dean Reynolds fourth, 16:20 as well. Jesse Anderson rounds out the top 5 at a 16:22. And so we are ready to go for featured time here at Knoxville. 35 laps. Here's the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, Randy Shreves in the 56. Next to him, Brad Waite in the 814. Row number 2, Dean Reynolds, Dino in the 79, and the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Row number 3, the Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217, and the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. Row 4, the Pink Panther, Jesse Exon in the 127, and Jack Clevenger in the 78. Rounding out the top 10, the Bandyboat Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49, and Chad Griggs in the 27. Row 6, Brennan Lacey, the Lowline Master in the 114, and the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row 7, the Money King, Kyle Moonen in the 24, and the Salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20. Row 8, Gavin Chatham in the 99, and Joseph Grandy, 100 grand in the 518. Row 9, the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and the High Side Banger, the 39 of Patrick Spangler. Row 10, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32, and Bob DeGood in the 7. Row 11, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161, and Dan McLaren in the 88. And the final row, John Short in the number 51, and Keith Jackson in the 113. One lap to the green flag. We are just about ready to go for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. We got all 24 cages of cold metal with hot rubber at the corners, set to do battle for 35 laps. Field in turn number 3 and 4 for the final time tonight. It is time to shake and bake. Because where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? Randy Shreves and Brad Waite set to bring us to green for the Renegades. It is showtime in Knoxville. Brad Waite, slide job on Randy Shreves, takes the race lead away. Shreves with the counter over, and Randy Shreves leads lap number 1. Good start here as the front row trade the lead early. Tyler Wilson, 3rd. Dean Reynolds, 4th. Chad Cote, 5th. Waite tries once again. The 56 prevails with the lead. Wait for the slider to stay in front of Tyler Wilson for right now. Look at all this side-by-side racing as Chad Cote uses the high side with the momentum to move up to 5th. Jack Clevenger, 6th. Brandon Dittmer, 7th. The fireworks still going up here at the Knoxville Raceway. Oh, we got trouble. Jesse Atkinson and one upside down. That's Brennan Lacey. Keith Jackson involved. We have Bob DeGood slow. One driver in the wall. That's Terry Landis upside down. First caution waits this evening at the sprint car capital of the world. This is the cause of the accident to lead to the yellow. They're 3 wide. All is good until they're 4 wide. Grandy, Atkinson, Lacey all clobble up there on the bottom. And this is the real cause of caution with Terry Landis as he gets sideways. Short saves, but look at the steering, all bent up. Left front has nothing on it. Can't even steer that thing one bit. Let's run over with a couple of drivers in that accident. Keith Jackson. Brennan Lacey. One more here, Bob DeGood. Came to a stop to make sure he didn't get involved in that wreck or anything like that. Alrighty, set for the first restart of the night. Randy Shreves, Brad Waite, row 1. Tyler Wilson, Dean Reynolds, row 2. Chad Cote, Jack Clevenger, row 3. Brandon Dittmer, Blake Chapman, row 4. Jack Hick, Gavin Chatham round out the top 10 as we're ready to come back to the green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
Shreves able to hold serve here on Brad Waite, where we're back to yellow. And we got Patrick Spangler, I believe in it. And it is with Spangler. He was upside down. Gavin Chatham was also collected. And that looks to be a big impact. Both wings gone on the 39. Steering all bent up. Show you what happened on this restart. That's Chatham in front. Did he just simply not get going? Oh, contact with Fanny Slam. Oh my goodness. That was awful. Go on board with Spangler, who just did not see this coming one bit. Nowhere to go. Here's Chatham. Got into Bandy 49 car to keep it straight. Look how violent that spin is on his side. That should put us here through to a single file restart. Watch this restart from the aerial shot. All positions stay the same with the exception of where Spangler was. Everybody moves up. As well as Gavin Chatham and others.
Green, green, green.
5 laps complete. We're back to green. Dino looking for a run around the outside. Oh no! Dino! Top wing is gone. Upside down goes the 79 and out of it. And no caution, we stay green, and now the yellow flag comes out. And I believe it was the yellow for Dean. I think he caught the wheel of Wilson there and then got the wall and then darted back down right in front of traffic. Yep, there it was. Right down in front of that one car. Let's watch from another angle. There, and came down right there in front of, I think that was the 78 of Clevenger. Just right on board here. Man, how all those other cars avoided him, I don't know. Dino trying to get the toe finished up, use the quick repair, and get on track. Reminder, next week we're at Port Royal Speedway, so don't miss out on that. Will definitely be a good one. Watch it right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Lights are off, coming back to green. Single file restarts the rest of the way.
Green, green, green.
Shreves holds serve on Brad away. You see Clevenger trying to grab the third position away from Tyler Wilson. Blake Chapman on the charge, started 14th. He's up to 6th. And how about the man in 9th? Anthony Morano started 19th up to P9, and also Keith Jackson started 24th and is up to 12th. But an eye out for him, that's for sure, is Randy Shreves and Brad Waite. Still your top 2 on track. Look at this race, though. Chapman using his line, trying to get past Jack Clevenger for the 5th position. Do it there, but you know him, likes to save tires early, and he goes 3 wide for just a moment with Brandon Dittmer on the outside. Clevenger with a slider up on Dittmer and has the 5th spot. For right now, they both close in on both Cote and Wilson. Look at this race for the bottom step of the podium. Great battles all over this racetrack. Wilson up in front, Cote wraps him. Big neck coat there, Cote cartwheeling. Wilson for the neck coat upside down, and Chad Griggs gets a piece of it. Violent, savage crash in turn 2. Here's another angle. There it was on the neck code. Wilson just didn't see that coming. And look at Griggs get the right rear in there too. Couple of drivers right on board. We'll watch Tyler Wilson. There's the ramp and there's the neck code. On board Chad Cote. That's dizzy. Chad Griggs still in his position from the looks of it. Hasn't moved to the back one bit, but now we're wondering how that right rear is going to look. Lights are off as we come back to green. Randy Shreves and Brad Waite, the best cars as you can see on the 5-lap average. We come back to green. What's going to happen here? Waite trying to look underneath for the lead. Stacked up here. Here comes the salesman, Blake Chapman for P2. Slides up in front of the Inferno 814. Waite tries to counter it back downstairs. Does he have it? Yes, he does. Chapman, though, wants the spot, though. Underneath, holding the bottom where he's been so good at here in Knoxville. Just can't get it to work, but it's now a 3-car shootout. for the race lead. 20 laps remain here in Knoxville. Chapman again looking downstairs. Wade tried to look underneath Streets at the same time. Top three all hanging out up on the top shelf. Here comes now Chapman has shifted up to the top. Wade underneath. Is that how Chapman gets past Brad Wade for P2? Yes, it is. The salesman has one to catch, and that's Randy Shreves. And don't forget, Chapman started in 14th, but look at Keith Jackson, who won the Rebels, started 24th. He is up to 6th. Keep an eye on her late in the going. Trouble for Jesse X in the 127 around in turn 1 because he was in that grassy area. We have no caution and stay green. To the 5-lap average we go. Blake is the quickest car on track as we speak. $15 laps to go in Knoxville. Randy Shreves looking for career win number 2. First win came at Lucas Oil last October. Chapman looking to continue his long-lived legacy. As for Brad Wade, looking for Renegades win, career win number 1. Yellow flag flies on lap 22 for Jeff Barker, who is towed into the pits. And it appears that Chad Cote is also involved. We're going to look at a couple of things here. Let's watch how Atkinson spun. This was a no yellow. Contact there with Jeff Barker, send the 127 around. And then here is what happened with Barker and Cote. Oh, he caught the berm right in front of the Goose. Wing first into the wall. You saw Landis get a piece of it, losing the front wing. On board Chad. Ramped up and a violent hit into the catch fence. $14 to go. As we come to green, Randy Shreves, Blake Chapman, Brad Wade are the 3 fastest drivers on track, but will anyone else get it? Like Keith Jackson, there's a stack up. John Short and Jack Head get together. Short got a little bit too feisty on the loud pedal. Shreves holds serve, opens up a gap on Blake Chapman. Keith Jackson underneath Dittmer, stalled from Clevenger. The 113 is cooking, up 19 spots in the 5th. There are 4 drivers up at least 10 tonight. Chapman up 12, Jackson up 18, 19, Short up 15, and McLaren up 11. The Rebel drivers here tonight are cooking. Caution waves, Jackson had the 5th spot, and the yellow's out for Dan McLaren, who was one of those drivers up at least 10. Oh, he just rode the wall in 1-2. That bit him late in the going. Actually, that's 3 and 4. But that bit him in the dust late in Rebels action. Let's go on board with Soupy Dan. And he caught, I think, Chad Greggs who was involved in his second accident tonight. Let's try this once again. There we go. That may have done some more damage with the right front, possibly. You can notice how low Keith Jackson is on the track. I wonder if he's concerned about fuel, possibly. Lights go off this time. 1 lap to green. So we come to the green where we have just barely over 10 laps to go. Five-lap average once again. And your second and third place cars are the quickest on track. Shreves obviously gets that freebie lap. But a long way left to go. Chapman second, Waite third, Clevenger fourth, Jackson fifth. Dittmer sixth, Hitt seventh, Short eighth, Chatham ninth, and Morano round out your top 10. 11 laps remain in the sprint car capital of the world. Back to green.
Green flag, green flag.
Jackson trying to look low on Clevenger for that fourth position. Good chance coming there, man. Jackson so good on the low line late in the race. 10 laps to go. He's up 20 spots now for the race lead. Blake Chapman on Randy Shreves. Oh, they touch. Shreves sideways down to third. Oh, man, hang on, Randy. Oh, what a heartbreak for the 56 of Randy Shreves. Goes down from first to ninth. Blake Chapman to the point with 9 laps to go. Bradway is second, and now Keith Jackson is up to third. Jackson underneath for second. The 113 looking to make the last to first charge. Does he have it in him tonight? Let's show you a replay what happened to Randy Shreves in that 56 while at it. He came down on Chapman, trying to pinch him low. It just got really sideways. Well, I know we brought up Jackson's charge. Let's not forget, Blake started 14th tonight. Did not have a good heat race. It's out in front. Jackson for second. And Gavin Chatham, who's been quiet all night in this race, has been following the 113 and is making that bottom work. Slide job for third. He's got it. But now Jackson has 4.5 laps to catch Blake Chapman. He's got to make up 1.4 seconds to get the job done. Let's look at the 5-lap average. And you can clearly see Blake Chapman's the quickest car on track. Keith needs a yellow to get back in this. He's got company, though, for P2. Side by side for the runner-up spot. And Gavin Chatham moves up to the spot. Oh, Jackson with a crossover on the berm. Hang on, Keith. 2 laps to go at Knoxville. It all started out with Randy Shreves leading most of this race. Blake Chapman making up many of the spots taking the race lead in the final laps, and he's got 1 lap from victory in his home track. The driver of the Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, KSR number 20, makes his way through 3 and 4. Don't give us none of that Casey's Popcorn. We want Galen's tonight. Blake Chapman takes the win at Knoxville. Chatham second, Jackson third, Wade fourth, Clevenger fifth. How about your top 3 all making their way up at least 10 spots this evening? Keith gets to Parker at victory lane. A fun night of action at the sprint car capital of the world. Chapman wins by 1 second on Gavin Chatham. If there is a late race caution, this race gets very interesting. 5 drivers up at least 10 spots. Morano finished 6th up 13. John Short finished 10th up 13. Lucky number 13 seems to be the thing here tonight. Great view of the fireworks here in Knoxville. And the rest of the field. Get your top 3 here in just a moment. Alrighty, we'll get your top 3 all in here again. If you're headed on out, thanks for joining us. We will talk to you all next Monday at Port Royal Speedway. Let's talk to our 3rd place finisher, Keith Jackson. Keith, so close to the win, but we got to give it up for you. A hell of a drive from last to 3rd. Take me through it.
Just same thing I did that last race, man. Just stuck it on the bottom and stayed patient and avoided wrecks.
What worked out well for you tonight in this? Was it just the bottom of the way your setup was going?
Yeah, it was just I tried the top and I just bounced around too much, and luckily the bottom stayed fast enough where it was still able to make passes and maintain if you couldn't make a pass. So just worked out. Guarantee you next time I come here I won't be able to hit the bottom to save my life. So it's just one of those evenings, it seems like.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Devo, Jack, Greg, Gary, you, of course, and then Roger and all those guys at C2C that put this thing on for us every week.
Alrighty, man. Hey, great drive. Great to see you back in Coast to Coast. Hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
You bet. Have a good one, Marty.
You as well. Keith Jackson finishing 3rd. To 2nd we go, Gavin Chatham. Gavin, man, oh man, you were quiet in that race until late in the going. What was working out for you in that FTM 99?
Just being patient, being smooth, and hitting my marks. And, when the track slicks off, I feel like I get a little bit better. And yeah, just, I'm really kicking myself. I swear to gosh, I feel like Darren Pittman at the National Open. I finished 2nd in this division so many times without a win. And we just keep trying. We keep trying, and we just get so close each time. And I was definitely faster than Blake there at the end, and I needed a caution. But yeah, I was just talking to Blake a little bit about that, how the track, it took some time for it to get some characteristic in it. Everyone was kind of on even playing fields, time trials, heat races, everything was kind of pretty close. And once the track got some characteristic to it and slicked off a bit, and you had the throttle control in different lines, and that's when we really started to shine. And definitely had a lot working there at the end. And just wish a caution or something would have came out. That's the way it happens sometimes, though. But I would have liked to have a shot at Blake there, because I felt like we might have been the fastest car on track.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
I just want to thank you, Marty, for doing an awesome job with the broadcast. Just want to thank Coast to Coast Racing, all the sponsors, all the admin, everybody behind the scenes that are that allow to put these races on, allow us to come out here and put on a good show for everybody. Which I hope that was an exciting show for everybody watching me come from the back to the front there. At least I try to make it as racy as possible. I just want to thank FTM, China Motorsports, Swan Speed Shop. Super Dark Car Series, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports. So thank all the sponsors for all the help. And I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watching these races and supporting this league and this division. And I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out and supporting me every night.
Well, great charge tonight, that's for sure. Well done, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
That sounds good. Thank you. Have a good rest of your week.
You as well. Gavin Chatham finishing second. Let's go to the man that takes the win here at Knoxville. What a charge. Blake Chapman, take me through it.
Yeah, Marty, that was a lot of fun there in the feature event. We really stunk it up there in qualifying and, pulled out the GRE motor and for the heat race, and that wasn't any better, so we put it back in for the feature. And, yeah, we just had to stay out of trouble early, and I found that bottom. Everyone else was running the top. That helped me avoid some of those incidents up there. And I was following Randy around that top to middle line where there was some grip, and I was telling the guys in the Discord before that last caution that if I wanted to win the race, I probably had to find a different line. So, I went down to that kind of bottom middle-ish line there. I know it's been fast here for us before, and we hit it, and it was really, really fast here at the end. So I just feels like it's been a while since I won a Renegades race, so this one definitely feels good.
Absolutely, it does. Another one at Knoxville. Were you just pretty much you were on the low line consistently? Was this just a race of saving tires and then taking advantage late in the race?
I definitely wanted to save tires just a little bit, but it was just basically go wherever they're not. I had a setup that really could go wherever I wanted to put it. The top was fast early, but like I said, everyone was up there and it got so congested up there. So I wanted to put the car down low, and we were able to keep pace down there while guys up top got into each other a little bit. So that was very, very helpful. This car was perfect for us tonight.
Next week, Port Royal, what do you expect going on in?
I've had some good runs there, and I've had some very bad runs there. So we'll just have to see how the track comes in. Usually that top's pretty fast, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Who do you want to give shout outs to? Sell some popcorn.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta first thank my family for watching and supporting. Gotta thank all the guys on the Krite Sim Racing team, especially Shorty and Terry for running with me tonight. Gotta thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. And the next holidays coming up is Valentine's Day. You got a special someone in your life. The best gift is definitely Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You can head over to their website, and don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And I gotta thank you for putting this broadcast on, Marty.
Congratulations on the win at your home track. Well done. Hopefully we're talking again next week.
Hope so. Thanks, Marty.
Blake Chapman taking the win at the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. We're all glad you could join us. Again, we will talk to you all next week from the Port Royal Speedway for Week 4 of the 2025 winter season. So again, thanks for joining us on behalf of the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Krug and his great group of admins. I'm Marty Scala, saying so long. Congratulations to your winners tonight. Clay Christopherson in Open 358. He's a first-time winner in that series. Keith Jackson in the Rebels and in the Renegades. Blake Chapman. So long.